Welcome inside the High School Huddle, along with Ronnie Phillips, Phil Nichols. I'm Chris Evans. Hope you're having a fantastic week as we get set for the 2025 high school football season. Today, we talk about the Owasso Rams and what a fantastic season they had a year ago. We'll talk about them in the upcoming year, but first, let's hear from our good friends at Red River Roofing.
Searching for a roofing company you can trust? Red River Roofing Siding and Windows has been protecting Oklahomans for a quarter century. Call today for a free inspection.
Of course, the big news for the Owasso Rams in the offseason, Coach Bill Blankenship is back as the head coach for the Rams after a fantastic year ago with then head coach Antonio Graham. Only one loss and came in the last one of the year, and a fantastic finish for the Bixby Spartans at UCO. And Coach Blankenship coming in to fill a big role after Coach Graham accepted the Tulsa Union job.
Yeah, I mean, what can you say about Coach B? He's a legend.
Yep.
He's won everywhere he's ever been. He's won state titles at Owasso. He's won at the college level, was coach of the year for the conference at the Tulsa Hurricanes. I mean, he's a legend. I mean, they're not going to get out coached. But, in 6A1, there's 4 or 5 teams, much like 6A2, you got 4 teams that I think we're always going to be talking about, and everybody else is kind of an afterthought. And Owasso is one of those top 4 or 5 teams that'll be there, that'll compete, but I think they're going to take a little step back. Obviously, they lost some kids that transferred out. One of the big guys, one of the running backs, went to Bixby.
Well,
who is a tremendous football player.
Well, the good thing about, we saw Owasso 3 times in person last year, and they had the 3-headed monster at Owasso. They have 2, but I think they'll be okay in the running game. But
they're going to be fine, but they like to have him.
But then it all starts with the quarterback, Drew Frankenfield, who no one this time a year ago had any idea. Maybe some folks in Owasso knew who he was, but what a campaign he had in his sophomore year.
He was a player. I mean, we like I said, we saw him 3 times, and he was a baller all 3 times. Tough, gritty,
competitor,
very big, very good competitor. But let's not forget over there on the DL line coming is Taj Overton.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State commit, I believe he is now.
Yep.
We saw him last year. I think the first time we saw him, me and Phil were on the field walking, and he's the first one we recognized in that game. At Jinx. It was like, that's a player right there.
Who's that?
Yeah. so he's going to be there. He's going to be a big player. And the good thing for Owasso is that typically when you have coaching changes, there's a lot of unknown. There is no unknown with Coach Blankenship. You know exactly what you're getting. You know what kind of style he is and the way he coaches. So they're not going to skip. They're going to miss a beat on a lot of things because he knows what he's doing. He's a legend, and he'll keep them in line.
He was retired how long?
Well, I don't know, but it felt like when Coach Graham accepted the union job, 30 seconds later they were hiring Bill Blankenship as the Owasso coach.
I don't think there was anybody else.
Yeah, so
that's who it was going to be.
Owasso, they've had 3 undefeated regular seasons in the past 6 years. I think if I remember correctly. And so they'll be up there in the conversation as they are every single year. They've really turned it on. They've been good over the years, but they seem like they've really turned on. About 2017-ish, Coach Blankenship state championship that year. They've really been really good. So it'll be fun to watch the next thing but it'll be interesting with Frankenfield. Teams, other programs were interested in him. He stays at Owasso, so that was a big get for Coach Blankenship to keep him.
And that's probably the reason.
Yeah.
If they hire anybody but Coach Blankenship, the kid's probably gone.
He might go with Coach Graham. You never know.
Could have went a lot of places.
Broken arrow.
He'd been the starting quarterback at Union, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, no question.
They're looking for a quarterback still. But
they are. But I just think there's so much stability that comes with a guy like Coach B, and it makes everybody more comfortable. Hell, it makes us more comfortable with how they're going to do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have nothing to do with the program.
Yeah.
You can just assume that they're going to be really, really good again. Coach B's there.
Take a look at that regular season schedule. Of course, 6A1 playoffs are always fun to watch, but the regular season, always intriguing matchups as we take a look at the schedule along with our predictions there. You look at the schedule, but Owasso finished the regular season beating Jinx a couple of times in the regular season and in the playoffs, but Owasso has won 6 of the last 8 meetings with the Jinx Trojans and 3 in a row. Of course, I don't want to omit Bixby, the team that's trying to win 8 in a row to begin the season, Battle of the Burbs at Tulsa Chapman Stadium. Then you have Jinx, as I just went over those numbers. Sand Springs, a very good 6A2 program. Broken Arrow's got a new head coach. Union has a new head coach. Then you got Westmore, Memorial, Santa Fe, Norman North, and UConn to finish the season. But a pretty good punch to begin the season.
Yeah, good punch to begin the season with Bixby, Jinx, Sand Springs, Broken Arrow. I've got them losing to Bixby and Broken Arrow. I'm a big believer in Coach Travis Hill and what he does. We've been around Coach Hill for 20 years when he was winning all those football games at East Central, and then down at Muskogee the last few years, winning state titles there as well, and been in the finals. But he has a way to get a lot out of kids. I mean, he's very much a player's kind of coach. And I think with the kind of athletes they have walking around the halls, I mean, almost 6,000 kids enrollment, I think you give Travis Hill those kind of opportunities, he's going to put a heck of a program out on the field. So I have them clipping Owasso as well. I do think Owasso will beat Jinx. I think they'll beat Union. Then you get through all of that. Who knows, right, where they're going to end up at the end of the year. But I think Owasso is definitely one of them that'll be in there contending to play the Bixby Spartans for a state title.
I think Bixby will be a favorite over Owasso in the very first game of the year. Owasso's had Jinx number over the last couple of years, and so I will give Owasso the victory there. I agree with you, Phil. I think Broken Arrow with Travis Hill and some of those transfers that have gone with
a lot of transfers.
Of course, they're the largest school in the state of Oklahoma. They have no excuses not to be good. But I got 8-2 with a slip up against Broken Arrow. And obviously, I got to take the state champions, Bixby. Of course, a year ago, I picked Bixby to win the same game, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. I got them 7-3. Bixby, Jinx, Broken Arrow. I think they're going to lose those games. But again, the first game of the season, when it comes to Bixby, that's going to be that'll let us know exactly what kind of team Owasso is. So that once we see that first matchup against Bixby, we'll really know how good our predictions are going to be. But again, Coach Blankenship, once they get to the playoffs, I could pick Owasso to win the state championship game.
All bets are off.
All bets are off at that point, depending how the season goes. But right now in August, not knowing a whole lot, I got them 7-3. But again, when they play Bixby week 0, we'll know a lot about Owasso.
I think with teams like this, you can say this about all classifications. I think this is how the coaches talk, because I really believe this. I think Coach B sits there and goes, well, we got tough 3 or 4 games here. We got tough games here. As long as we stay healthy, we got a chance. Yeah. And I think they all, because fans, we live and die with every week. Yeah. A loss is much more traumatic. I think they'll think, oh gosh, we're just not gonna. Well, no, hold on. It's about peaking at the right time. It's about getting ready at the right time. You can't do that if you don't stay healthy. So they're all just saying, man, we stay healthy, we got a chance.
I remember last year they kept winning. They won again and again and again and again.
Dominating.
And then they got to the lower part of their schedule and they cruised on there. So it was a fun year for Owasso Rams a year ago.
When we called that Owasso Jinx game in the playoffs,
the overtimes.
Let me tell you, we looked at each other. I will never forget this. Said that might be the best high school football game we've ever been a part of.
They stopped KD Jones.
It was crazy.
He didn't have if I remember right, hardly any runs over 10 yards plus.
Yeah.
So.
And that 3-headed monster that Owasso had at the running back just kept fresh legs. My gosh,
and it'll be
so tough.
Big line last year.
Big line.
Last year, Frankenfield came on the scene, and everything seemed like everything was bonus. Now he has to produce.
Well, it's his team.
It's his team.
Well, the offensive line is not going to be as good as it was last year.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's no way.
Kid at Oklahoma State, kid at Arkansas.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to play this year. Last year was a perfect year for him to come in as a sophomore to get the job and play, because he had those guys up front protecting him.
Well, remember,
he's a competitor, he's a player, so he's going to show out.
Remember, Owasso has the enrollment for that.
They do. Remember, Owasso also lost that defensive lineman that went to SC.
Yeah.
I mean, so they lost kids, big uglies on both sides of the ball. That's going to be hard to fill, but Coach B will have them ready. We all know that. They're going to have a good year. It'll be a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. So best of luck to the Owasso Rams, and you can follow the High School Huddle every week here on the High School Huddle, Wednesday nights, 6 o'clock. YouTube.com/High School Huddle. Be sure to check us out every week. We would appreciate that. We'll talk to you next time here on the High School Huddle.